What is up, heroes? This is Midnight Zero, and welcome back to Let's Play Corpse Party Book of Shadows. It has been a little bit. In the last episode, we finished up the endings to Chapter 3, I believe. Yeah, let's take a look at our ending list real quick. We finished the ones for... let's take a look at our ending list real quick. I believe, yeah, we finished the ones for Chapter 3, Encounter. We didn't get any of the... well, we got them. We didn't need to get any post-play wrong ends in Chapter 4, and now for number 5, Shangri-La, we had a really shaky start. I think it was every single wrong end opportunity we had, we got it. But then we clearly did pretty well because we didn't get the last 5 of them. But that means this is going to be a rather long recording session, and you guys have quite a few wrong ends ahead of you. So sit back and enjoy the ride. All right, so here we are. We are Morishige right now. We are alone, and we just picked up the wire and the kite string because there was something in this hole that we were trying to fish out. And the first time we tried to do it, it didn't turn out so well. So what you have to do is you have to try to fish it out again. But if you choose to try to go into the hole, we'll find out. I mean, I know it's a wrong end, obviously. Darn it, while I'm sitting here waffling, Mayu could be in serious danger. And if anything were to happen to her, well, at any rate, all I need to do is lower myself down, grab whatever's down there, and then come right back up. It couldn't be simpler. What could possibly go wrong? All alone, using, what, a kite string to lower yourself into a hole you have no way of getting out of? I don't know. Oh, what could possibly go wrong? As long as I proceeded slowly and cautiously, I thought, yeah, I'd be fine. First things first, I needed to figure out how deep this gap went. The string went in up to here, so a little over 4 meters. That's deeper than I'd expected. My height is 178 centimeters, so with arms outstretched, I'd be about 2 meters or so. It's like a doable fall. Which meant if I grabbed onto the ledge with my hands and lowered myself down, I'd only have another 2 meters to fall. If you guys are watching my Ultra Despair Girls Let's Play, I actually just mentioned this in I think the 4th episode, this sort of tactic to lower falls for yourself. And that seemed entirely reasonable. It was notably less of a drop than one would face when jumping from a second-story veranda, for example. Alright, well, here we go. So the only problem then is getting back up. Maybe if I grab a few desks and chairs from the classroom and throw them in first. A little stacking could easily give me 1.5 meters of extra height, I thought. And that should get me plenty close to the edge of the hole. I'd probably be able to reach it and grab on with just a single jump. Well, now that we've completed the chapter, we know he won't be stopping by anytime soon. Worst case scenario, Taguchi will be stopping by the entranceway in less than an hour. That's close enough that if I yelled loudly, he'd hear me. That's not quite the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is Taguchi dies and you don't have anyone to come by and rescue you. Alright, that should do it. Let's get this over with. And down we descend. Doing it right there? Yikes. Yikes. I think I sprained my ankle. The one thing I didn't predict was that the ground would be so uneven down here. It's probably because it's a lot of bodies. Well, at least I could finally find out what the item was that I'd seen from above. What do I end up getting? It was like a small notebook. No, I recognized it. This was a student ID. Looks awfully familiar. In fact, it seemed to be a Kisaragi Academy student ID. Oh no. No, it's Mayu's. What is it doing down here? Don't tell me she fell. Mayu, are you here? Mayu? There were a considerable number of dead bodies down here with me. Most of them were full-on skeletons who seemed like they'd been here for ages, but a handful of them looked like they may have just died a few hours ago. Yikes. Not very promising.
一体何が行われているんだこの学校では。
Yikes. There's so many of them, and virtually everyone is wearing what looks to be a modern-day school uniform. What is going on in this wretched place? I briefly scanned the bodies of the departed in the dim, unnatural light that filtered in from above, and found one that was wearing very familiar clothes. This was definitely the uniform of Kisaragi Academy High School. I was horrified. Mayu, please tell me it's not you. I mean, we know it's not Mayu at this point, but...
おい、篠崎。
Wait. Oh... it's the class rep. Hey, Shinozaki. Both of Ayumi Shinozaki's eyes were wide open, but she wasn't looking at anything in particular. Those eyes weren't seeing anything at all anymore. Oh no.
篠崎。
Shinozaki? We get a picture?
なんで誰がこんな。
Yikes. Why? Who did this to...
落ち着け。冷静になるんだ。篠崎は死んでいる。これは死体だ。そこら中にある死体の一つだ。
Calm down. Don't panic. Shinozaki is dead. This is just a body. Just one of many in here.
そう。篠崎の形をした肉の塊だ。ものなんだ。
Uh-oh. That's right. This is just a pile of meat that happens to be shaped like Shinozaki. It's not a person anymore. It's a thing. I don't know if that's the correct mentality to adopt immediately. I don't know if this is turning out so well for Morishige.
篠崎には岸沼がついていると思ったのに、あの単細胞は何をやってるんだ。
Great. Gosh darn it, Kishinuma should have been with her. What the heck was that incompetent Baka doing?
あいつがどこかで油を売ってるから、篠崎がこんなことに。こんな。
He was probably off messing around with God knows what, leaving Shinozaki all alone and helpless. And now, look at her. Do we not get the chance to look at her? I mean, like, not that I'm one for, like, gore to the intense or whatnot, but, like, some of the art is, like, what's really cool about this game. I should probably take something for her family.
こんなに血で汚れた制服はダメだな。遺族が動揺する。下着なんて論外だ。
Yeah, no kidding.
髪留めのゴム紐は
Did she have her ID on
あり
her?
ふれている。
Her uniform is too blood-soaked. It would just upset them. Her underwear is out of the question, of course. And her hairband is just too common.
もう少し篠崎の個性が伝わるような。委員長のろうそくはここにはないか。
Oh, it's a pretty good idea, though. I need something that one could associate with her personally. I know, the ghost story candles. Darn, guess she doesn't have them on her anymore.
髪の毛とかいいはずならいいだろう。ハサミがないから。そうだな。仕方ない。
Oh,
で髪切るか。
yikes. It'll have to be her hair. The hair of the deceased. But I don't have any scissors. I guess I'll have to use my teeth? Yeah, I'll use my teeth. Yikes, that sound effect though. It would probably be really tough in my opinion to bite through hair.
髪の毛ってのは意外と
Yeah, it's built to be pretty resilient.
綺麗に切れない。
I had no idea human hair was so resilient. I don't think I can do this cleanly.
別の部分ならどうだ。例えば爪とか。待てよ。いや、舌がいいな。
No. No, Morishige, no! 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 I can just see Sachiko sit in the corner with her popcorn like, yes, yes, keep going, Morishige. Like, no. What about a different part of her body? Perhaps a fingernail, a tooth, or... Yes, that's it! Her tongue! Her tongue's the thing!
いいよな、篠崎。遺族のためだ。口を開けてくれ。
Oh boy. It's alright, Shinozaki, isn't it? It's for your family's sake, after all. Now open wide. And Morishige is correct.
舌がないじゃないか
This is actually really funny. This is really funny. No, her tongue! It's missing! It's already been taken! Morishige is like cracking. You know, he's going into insanity. And he has like a sliver of like sanity. His humanity comes back and he's like, maybe I should bring something back for her family. And then is running out of ideas. Not the uniform, not the underwear, not the candles. That would have been a great idea. Maybe the hair. And then now splitting into some of the weirder territory, fingernail, tooth, and then has a great idea in his insanity. The tongue has to be the perfect spot. And then in his insane terror, he realizes there's no tongue left. And he's like, how could anyone have already gone to her and taken her tongue of all things when he just had this great insane idea? That's really funny, actually. Now he's so passionate about getting this tongue. That's gonna be tough to get out, but darn it, whoever did this, stop messing with me! I guess I have no choice then. I'll have to settle for a tooth. It won't come out. Not if I'm pulling with just my fingers anyway. Yeah, I mean, they are attached to your jaw. Huh? What's happening? Why is everything going black? Is he getting, like, consumed by the darkness? It, definitely seems like it. Yikes. Oh, Morishige. I don't know if I trust you with protecting Mayu at this point, Morishige, but... Mayu, where are you? I'll protect... Insert gurgling sound effects as he gets consumed by the darkness and all that stuff through everything. Wrong end. I was a little off with my cue. Regardless, that was the first wrong end we need to get. I'm actually got my old laptop pulled up next to me. It's a great idea. With a little bit of a guide. And it turns out the next two wrong ends. Wait, that was wrong end 4? Oh, I was looking at the wrong one. That works. Oh yeah, wrong end 5 is pretty easy to get though, so I'll get that in just a second. But it turns out wrong ends 6 and 7 are actually only available after you beat the chapter the first time, and then you have to play through the chapter a second time, and there's a new cutscene that comes up, and then the two wrong ends are based on that cutscene. And then, you know, wrong end 8 is pretty straightforward if you remember the ending of this chapter. So I'll probably do the next two, like, relatively easy to get wrong ends, and then figure out how to do that extra, or those two extra wrong ends as for the last one. So look forward to those. Alright, so here we are as Morishige talking with Fukuroi and Mitsuki, and we have the option to go down this hallway. We are actually going to continue to do so, and we're going to do so for quite a bit. I'm going to skip ahead because I believe what ends up happening is, man, this long cutscene, and then we'll eventually make our way back and all, and our darkening is at 66%. So what we actually are going to do is we get a wrong end if our darkening gets to 100%. I think the first time we really even encountered that was in, you know, chapter 6, but it is possible, I guess, to get a wrong end. I mean, it was just a generic game over the first time we got it, but apparently there's a specific wrong end for getting 100% darkening in this chapter. It's at 86 now, so the next time should do it. I do think it's a bit of a poor game design stance to have a specific wrong end for getting 100% darkening in a chapter when in every other chapter it's a game over that doesn't count as a wrong end. Just my opinion on it all, but regardless, we'll head on down. And the darkening is going to take us, that's for sure. And when is it going to turn into something new is the real question. Alright, now we head back. Now is when we should crack. And so we turned around. and saw nothing but an endless corridor vanishing into inky blackness. It was basically a mirror image of the trek we'd been making these past few minutes.
嘘でしょそんな
Is
ろうそくの明
this?
かりも見えなくなるくらい遠くへは歩いてないよね
I like her voice acting a lot. I don't think this
落ち着け
is...
どうせ一本道だ戻るしかない
Yeah, I don't think this is quite the new cutscene yet. Now do we get a... Whoa.
起きて
That's a bit different. Wake up.
眉
I don't know if that sounded like Mayu, Morishige.
さない誰だ
Mayu? No, it's a much younger voice. Who is it?
お兄ちゃん起きて
That sounds like Sachiko. Oh no, this is not gonna turn out well for you, Morishige. Hey, mister, wake up.
ここ
Where am I?
おはようお兄ちゃんここはね私のおもちゃ箱
Uh-oh. Good morning, mister. This is my playroom. And of course, it sounds like, you know, like a 6-year-old saying, like, this is my playroom. You expect a bunch of toys and everything. I can almost swear it's that torture room with all of those tools and everything and the blood. And the young girl thrust her face so close to mine that our noses practically touched. She was smiling from ear to ear. She looked to be in about 1st or 2nd grade, with long black hair and a clean, cute, almost dainty countenance. After my brief impression, however, I quickly turned my head away. She was uncomfortably close, literally breathing down my neck, and her breath... It smelled of blood, of death and decay, and fatty oils and smoke. It smelled of chemicals and antiseptic. It was a very, very unpleasant potpourri. Yeah, that doesn't sound like quite the concoction I'd want to smell.
君は
Who are you?
嬉しくなっちゃう
I'm so happy.
なんだこれはって聞かないんだねここに来た人はみんなまず驚いて泣き出すのに
You didn't get all indignant and say, what's going on here? Normally when people wake up here, they get scared and start freaking out. The little girl began backing away from me, her shoulders still shaking in a soundless chuckle. I knew exactly what she meant. It would be entirely reasonable to ask what's going on here. Even at a glance, I could tell this room was not good. The floors and walls were caked in blood as thick as mud. Buckets of body parts were strewn all about and eviscerated corpses were stacked everywhere. Yeah, you know, just a little red flag. Nothing too alarming. And that was just what I could see at a glance. As for me, I was bound to a chair against one of the walls. Not with ropes, but with chains.
私の名前は篠崎幸子
My name is Shinozaki Sachiko.
俺をどうするつもりだ殺すのか
What do you plan to do with me? Are you going to kill me? And she'd be like, yes, after I have a lot of fun playing with you or something like
どう
that.
しようかなこれから考える先にこれで遊ぶから
What a question. I'm just not sure. I'll decide later. I've got something else to play with first. Uh-oh. Just as she said the word else, she brought her hand down onto the nearby table in a slapping motion, and it made contact with someone. It was a girl, bound by her hands and feet, and Sachiko's slap was aimed squarely at her thigh. Her uniform suggested that she was in high school, and she was wearing glasses, giving her a rather stern, serious appearance. I could hear the sound of chattering teeth and see her chest rising and falling rapidly and erratically, suggesting she was paralyzed with fear.
名前はね浦部恵美さん
Her name is Urabe Emi. I feel like I should recognize the name. I do feel like I should recognize the name. If you guys remember, let me know. At the sound of her own name being read aloud from her student ID name tag, the girl let out a single whimper.
やめお願い
Aww. No, stop, please, please stop.
ダメお姉ちゃんは今からとびきり痛いことをされます
No way, you're about to be put through incredible pain.
惨めったらしい顔や命乞いをして見せてくださいね
Oh my goodness, and the way she says it, the contrast. So make sure you squirm like the wretch you are and beg me to spare your life, okay?
やだ冗談だよねだって私何も
No, you're joking, right? I didn't do anything.
うるさい気が散る
Shut the heck up, you're distracting me. Yikes. Sachiko swung her hand downward into Emi's face. I realized only after impact that there was a scalpel in it. A sloppy, uncontrolled incision was made from the corner of her mouth all the way to her ear. Oh. Just kidding.
ごめんね、痛かった？本気じゃないからまだあまり痛がらないで。これからもっと痛くなるのよ。
I'm sorry, did that hurt? I wasn't seriously trying to kill you or anything, so don't let it hurt too much. The real pain is just beginning after all. Oh, that's awful. Sachiko produced a pair of durable sewing scissors from a roll-away shelf nearby and began expertly cutting all the way up Emi's school uniform. Then she set down the scissors and produced a full-sized farming sickle in their place. It looked well worn with soil and rust sticking liberally to the blade. After brandishing it for a moment, Sachiko positioned... I don't know why I accidentally did that, but... Oh no. No, please no, this is a dream. This has to be a dream. I can't say if you're awake or if you're dreaming, but you're about to find out. Ugh. You're like being forced to watch something like this would be awful. Sachiko slowly shifted her focus from Emi's abdomen to the area just below her rib cage. Isn't that more so her abdomen? But probably closer to there. Technically. Emi's body began spasming, her spinal muscles contracting in a decidedly unnatural manner. Gasps and screams mixed with sounds of vomit and incontinence. Oh. What a perfect facial expression. See, I knew you could do it. Without even wiping the drool from her mouth, Sachiko tossed the sickle aside and simply began digging into Emi's wounds with her bare hands. Oh, the sound of tiny hands manipulating internal organs was disgustingly similar to that of a sopping wet rag squelching spilled oatmeal over a hardwood floor. Interesting. Yikes. The noises escaping Emi's mouth didn't even sound like they were coming from a human being anymore. I could see her face in profile now, and despite the gastric juices and vomit and blood and contortions of unbearable agony, it wasn't a disagreeable sight. Morishige, please! Morishige, please! This was a girl not far from death. She was trying her hardest to fight it, but the facts were the facts. She was going to die, and she knew it. Against this fate, she was completely and utterly helpless. She was doomed already, in both body and soul. This hapless struggle had a certain sensual quality to it. No, it was even purer than that. This was a truly beautiful sight. Morishige, no! Don't do this to me again! No! Isn't she pretty? Sachiko, who had at this point buried her head in Emi's exposed organs, withdrew it and directed this question at me, her mouth still full of flesh. What? Everything from her nose down was dyed red and dripping with blood. Isn't her face just precious? She swallowed whatever she'd bitten out of Emi's insides, then turned to face me. Not just face me, actually, but stare at me. Stared into me with unwavering, unblinking eyes. I suddenly became aware of my own erratic breathing. It wasn't fear, though, but an almost animalistic reaction. It was coarse and primal, and I'd unconsciously thrust my chest forward toward Emi. I think I may have been smiling. So how about it? Do you want to play with her too? Don't be ridiculous. It's like she's making fun of me. She shouldn't even have to ask. Morishige, no! Morishige! Every wrong ending just gets more and more, I don't know, out there. Far from sanity, reality, likability, in my opinion. Well done character. Well done character. Don't get me wrong. But, oh, Morishige, please. Please. That was one of those wrong ends that, you know, despite no visuals really, just based on the image alone and, based on the words alone, how it's described, is really cringe, really gets you kind of down to your core when you really start thinking about it and everything. So, it's a good wrong end. And yeah, like I mentioned last time, the next two wrong ends are for that special thing. So, we're just going to go to wrong end number 8. So, I'll see you guys with that one. Alright, so here we are with the last point. I actually unintentionally ran into the scene from before, so it's not going to be as hard to find those last two wrong ends, which is really nice. But regardless, there's a candle shimmering here along with a note. Whatever you do, don't look behind
振り
you.
返ったらどうなるって
Ooh, I'm getting kind of nervous. I know. I remember from when initially going through this, I was like, I know I'm not supposed to look back. I know I'm not supposed to look back. But guys, now we finally get to settle that, or satisfy that curiosity. We get to look back. I wonder if they're going to show us anything. Hmm? Oh, it's Mitsuki. Morishige?
山本さん袋井君は
Yamamoto? Where's Fukuroi? I was expecting some, like, image, like some pop-up or something like that. But no, it's okay.
わからない。さっきまで一緒にいたけど、なんか斧持ってるやつに追いかけられて逃げてるうちに。
Yikes. I don't know. He was with me until just a short while ago, but then we found ourselves running from a man with an axe, I think, and we got separated.
そうか
Yikes.
心配だな無事だといいがあ君も怪我をしているじゃないか
I see. That is rather worrisome. I hope he's alright. How about you? You're not hurt, are you?
私は平気。この血は私のじゃないから。
I'm fine. This isn't my blood.
それよりやっぱりやばいよこの学校。さっきのやつがきっとここに迷い込んだ人たちを殺してるんだ。
Do you have the time to just be chilling here talking about it? But this school is even more dangerous than I thought. Whoever that man is, I'm certain he's been going around killing anyone who gets lost in here.
僕はそいつを見てないから何とも言えないな
I haven't encountered him personally, so I couldn't say. He sounds so, like, nonchalant about everything.
一人じゃ絶対私も。
I'm scared. If I'm by myself, he'll find me.
よかったら一緒に来るかい
Shall I accompany you then?
いいの？
Are you sure?
まあ構わないよ
Yeah, I don't mind. Interesting. I feel like Morishige inside would be like, oh, I can't believe I have to go, like, walk around with this scum. Yamamoto, overcame with relief, suddenly grabbed hold of me.
ちょっと
Hey!
ごめんね。森重君は鈴本さん。彼女はいる。
He wishes. He wishes. I'm sorry, you have a girlfriend already, right? Suzumoto-san, I think you said her name was.
そういうんじゃないなんていうか妹みたいなものだよ
We're not like that. She's like a little sister to me, I guess.
森重君みたいなお兄さんがいたら退屈しないだろうな。
I'll bet life would be a whole lot less boring if I had a big brother like you. Oh no, don't try and replace Mayu. Don't try and replace Mayu, not for Morishige.
そうかな
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
どっちかっていうと退屈な人間だと思われることが多いんだけどな特に同世代からは
People always seem to regard me as a boring human being, especially people of this generation. So now what?
暗いな
I'm surprised that it wasn't just like an immediate
Yamamoto-san.
death, turn around and there's something there following us. But it's really gotten dark in here. Hmm? Yamamoto?
ちょっと待って。明かりつけるから。
Hang on just a sec, I've got a light. Turn on the light and... Oh, I was gonna say, there's the monster! Or something like that.
そうだ本館でもこんな場所が
What an unnerving hallway. It's much darker than the others. But then, I suppose there was one just like it in the main building.
暗くて寒いね。
It's not just dark, but cold too.
なあ引き返そうこれ以上は危険だと思う
Yeah, we should head back. I think we may be in danger if we keep going.
でももう来た道がないよ。
But the way back is gone.
しまったそうだ山本さんあのアルコールランプを
Darn. Yamamoto, do you still have that alcohol lamp?
あれはなくしちゃった。でもろうそくならあるから。
Sorry, that didn't quite make it. But I've got plenty of candles. It's sounding like Mitsuki's out to get us.
そんなものじゃ
Candles won't be enough.
あそこに部屋が見えるよ。
Well, look, there's a room.
行ってみよう森重君。
Let's see what's inside, okay?
待て
How about
危険かもしれない
death?
様子を
Yikes. Wait, it might not be safe. We should proceed with the utmost Whoa.
怪我
Sorry, I didn't hurt you, did I? How did this happen? How did this happen when she was trying to walk in a room? You weren't even in there yet. You were trying to walk in maybe afterwards? And look at that grin on her face. Look at those eyes. She seems like deceptive. Like, I feel like she's going to kill Morishige.
平気だよ。
I'm just fine.
誤解しないでくれよ。
What was that audio?
いや、僕は。
Please, don't misunderstand. I didn't mean to.
それより、少しお話ししない？
Oh no. This is not going to turn out well. Never mind that. Let's say we have a little chat.
何を言って。
You're going to be my big brother, wink, or something like that. I don't know. Mitsuki, what's gotten into you? What do you...
私のことは嫌い？しげに。
Oh my god, it's happening! It's happening! Don't you like me? Shigeni. It's happening! Whoa.
お前、
What?
誰だ？
Who are you?
誰だと思う？しげに。
Who do you think I am? Shigeni. Is that Sachiko in disguise?
やめろ。
Cut it out. Don't call me that. I tried to pick myself up off the floor, but she grabbed me tightly by the wrists.
話せ。なんで俺のこと、マユのことを知ってるんだ。
Let me go. How do you know about me? About Mayu? I struggled with all my might, and in the process, I inadvertently slapped Yamamoto, or whoever this was, square in the face. Now it's the question marks instead of Yamamoto. Ow, how dare you raise your hand to a girl? Shigeni. Wow. So it turns out it's Sachiko. The skin from Yamamoto's face began peeling back, and a little girl's face burst out from within, covered in blood and muscle tissue. Interesting. I don't even know how it's possible, but black hairs burst out from the Yamamoto suit next, spreading across the ground like a black wing unfurling. Immediately, a musty smell began permeating the air, and I became aware of all the body parts around me, hands, feet, and trails in a veritable lake of blood. Yikes. It's quite the magical power she's got here.
マユ、どうした？
Were you always her? What did you do to Mayu?
どうしたんだろう？
And what happened to Mitsuki?
しげに。しげに。しげに。
Now what did I do to her?
進め出したよ。
I remember she wouldn't shut up. She kept chirping Shigeni, Shigeni, like a Japanese sparrow. A Suzume, if you will.
今は物静かな。
But she's not chirping
自分の目
anymore.
で確かめるといい。
Want to see for yourself?
まさか、
Oh no.
まさか、そんなバカな。
No, 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 that can't be.
私はお前を見ていたよ。面白い。見込みがあるやつだってね。
Uh-oh. I've been watching you, you know. I like you. You've got promise.
たまにお前みたいなのがいる。この学校と相性のいい変わり種がね。
People like you do show up from time to time. Freaks of nature who have a real affinity for this place.
何なんだ。
She knows.
一体、
What are you trying to say?
俺をどうするつもりなんだ。
What the heck are you planning to do with me?
怯えているのかい？
You scared?
無理もない。
Cheep, 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 cheep.
分かってるよ。
Can't help but think of the room. That's understandable. But the thing is, I get you.
お前の恐れの対象は生きた人間の死ではない。自分自身の死のみだ。
You're not afraid of people dying. You're just afraid of you dying. Spot on, it seems.
話せ。俺は。
Let go of me. I...
話してやろうとも。歩いていけ。あの扉へ。校舎が案内してくれる。
Sure, I'll let you go. And when I do, I want you to walk over to that door. Let the school guide your way.
お前が探しているあの子のところへ。
It's where you'll find the person you've been looking for all this time. Uh-oh.
しげに見ないで。今の私は。
Shigeni, don't look at me. Not the way I am now.
マユ、
楽しみだね。
Oh
お
no.
前の反応が。
I'm quite looking forward to your reaction.
すぐ殺しちゃうからね。
But if it's boring, I'll kill you. True to her word, the girl let go of my wrists. And this is probably not going to turn out too well for Morishige. Her body then began sinking into the floor little by little until there was nothing left of it. It was as if she were lying along the shore as the tide came in and slowly rose above her body. Or maybe the school just swallowed her up. The only things that remained of her were Yamamoto's school uniform and that face mask made from her skin.
これは夢か。
It's kind of gross.
それとも俺はもうとっくに頭がおかしくなっているのか。
Is this a dream?
いや、だとしても。
Or have I just completely lost it at this point? Either way, I'm surprised how long this wrong end is.
俺はマユに会わなくてはならない。
I need to see Mayu.
あいつは生きている。そうに決まっている。
She's alive.
マユ、
She has to be.
今行くぞ。
Mayu, I'm coming for you. Ima ikuzo. Oh, Morishige. He's gonna like find her and think she's like beautiful in her death. Oh, it ends there. Alright, well cool. So that should be wrong end number 8. That was surprisingly a really cool one. It really caught me off guard with, first of all, not just being a jump scare or like an immediate death as soon as you look back, but kind of leading you into thinking you maybe did the right thing. You find Mitsuki, you're deceptive, or you're like skeptical of Mitsuki, but then it turns out Mitsuki is Sachiko, and we get this this cool scene of the black wing hairs and everything. I thought it was pretty neat. So, regardless, I will see you guys for the new scene in this chapter, and then we'll see where that takes us, and, wrong end 6 and 7. Alright, so here we are, we've got this hole here, and then this body, which we know is Takuchi across the way, and we actually got really lucky, because this was the very last save I made in this chapter, and it turns out to be at exactly the point where this new cutscene is going to come, so we got like super lucky there, which is really nice, but Takuchi is completely motionless. It's impossible to tell from here if he's dead, though, or simply unconscious. Another earthquake? As is typical of Corpse Party. Now we get some new things, it seems. Yikes. Fukuroi doesn't seem to be doing so hot. Something hit me hard right in the back of the head. I began descending face first toward the ground. Felt like I was falling in slow motion though. The ground just kept coming, yet for some reason I couldn't even put my hands out to break the fall. It was like I was being slowly swept toward a wall by some giant wave. My glasses fell from my face, and I distinctly remember watching them roll around. No! Fukuroi! So this must be the axed man that we heard about in the last one. And it seems... what's it called? This is like the other perspective of what happens to Mitsuki and Fukuroi, rather than Morishige, or like while Morishige is escaping, per se. Mitsuki's panic screams brought me back to reality. Suddenly I remembered what was happening. She and I had pursued Urabe Emi from the pool back into the school building, and found her quickly enough. Unfortunately, she was already dead. Her head had been smashed open on the ground like a roasted chestnut. Who could have done such a thing, we thought. And like it or not, it seemed I'd now learned the answer. Mitsuki was inconsolable, understandably, but after some doing, I had finally managed to drag her away from Urabe's remains. We'd just begun walking back toward the school entranceway when I got struck from behind and found myself careening toward the floor. Oh my. I was losing focus, but could still make out the pool of blood spilling from my head, accompanied by a sound reminiscent of a leaky faucet. Yikes. And unfortunately, I could also make out the vague form of a man standing over me, raising whatever he'd hit me with into the air for another strike. Wait, stop! Yikes. I instinctively shielded my head with my right arm and felt every nerve ending and every muscle in it twist unnaturally as the blunt object came down. My arm! Mitsuki's tomboyish face looked uncharacteristically wrinkled and puffy, with tears streaming down both cheeks, or maybe it was just my blurry vision.
Mitsuki!
Mitsuki, run! Yikes. Run. Mitsuki's sobbing screams and frantic footsteps began receding into the distance. This made me feel a little better. At least she'd be safe, I thought. It took only moments for my vision to go completely dark, but then I had taken a hammer to the head. Still, considering what I'd just been through, I'd expected to be unconscious by now. But I wasn't. I could feel every part of my body clearly, unfortunately. I kind of wished I couldn't, considering, but I was pretty sure I could still move, at least for the moment, so I decided to do my part. With my uncrushed left arm, I reached out blindly, felt my attacker's leg as he began turning to pursue Mitsuki, and grabbed on tight. I respect this, doing whatever you can, even in death, to protect your friend. I won't let you go after Mitsuki. Mitsuki was important to me. Whoa, what a last line. Was I still alive? I couldn't even count the number of broken bones I'd suffered, and I could still feel every one of them. My head, my arms, my ribs, every part of me was throbbing with agony. No one part of my body hurt more than another. Every injury was unbearable. Oh. That is not the zombie man. That is Kizami. I must say, I'm impressed to still be alive in your condition. Someone was next to me, down on one knee, head right at my ear, from the sound of it. A young man, probably around my age. Can you hear me? What happened? I couldn't see a thing at this point, not even vague shapes, but the voice addressing me sounded somehow familiar. I felt this was someone I could trust. Be careful, save the others. The others? Uh-oh, you're telling the wrong person. Telling the wrong person, Fukuroi. Please, Mitsuki. Yamamoto? Mitsuki, help her. Alright, I can do that. I'll be certain to look out for her. Even without seeing his face, I could tell he was sneering when he said this. Then, in the next instant, I felt something hot bore into my abdomen. It's time for you to rest in peace. Though they say even when you die, your pain never goes away here. Why? Because he's Kizami. Of course. What does it matter? You're going to die anyway. I mean, there was a chance that you could, try to rehabilitate him in some manner. Mitsuki, run! Now do we take up Mitsuki's role? Seems so. Which way? Alright, so if we choose to the covered walkway, that's where we continue on with the regular events of the game. We're gonna head up to the second floor. Whoa. That doesn't sound so good. Stay back, please! Did she already get hit? Uh-oh. That's not good. I thought it was gonna be Kizami, but seems as the giant man, his expression never once changed. He was like some kind of twisted, life-size doll with one face. No doubt the face he'd been wearing when he killed me. The last face I'd ever see. What can I do? What options did I have? That's it, the alcohol lamp. Light the lamp or try something else. Now, I'm going to make a save here because I know, because of my handy dandy guide, that this is the branching point that's going to give us our last 2 wrong ends, because we are in a bit of a catch-22. That's only the treat, or it's only a treat for the people that complete this chapter first, and then go give it a go again. So, we're going to start off by lighting the lamp. Let's see what this does. Whoa, this music! Fire! I have to light the wick! With adrenaline's help, I managed to get the matchbox out of my bag, withdraw a match, and even unsuccessfully strike it a few times, all in an instant. Finally, I got a flame, but it wasn't fast enough. The expressionless giant's hammer struck me full force in my right knee. Yikes. Ashika. Yikes. I had nothing left to lose at this point, so I just threw the alcohol lamp haphazardly. It struck the expressionless man's raised hammer and shattered. This music, though, intense, man. A sizable amount of methanol spilled from the shards all over his face and chest, and there, thankfully, it burst right into flames. The man's entire torso was immediately engulfed. Yikes. Sounds like quite the event. The hammer fell from his hand. On, Mitsuki. I did it! Burn slowly, Baka! Serves you right, this is for Emi and Fukuroi, you murderer! I don't know if I'd count him out just yet, Mitsuki. Ah. What the? Stay away, just die already! His flaming hand grabbed my wrist. Yikes. I could feel my skin instantly blistering, and then mere moments later my whole uniform went up. Yikes. Let go of me! His grip was so firm, it felt like it was going to break my arm. And the fumes my uniform was giving off couldn't be good for me. I could feel every fiber melting into my skin. It was charring me to the bone. Yikes. No, God, make it stop! Let go! Please, no! Help somebody! Tongues of flame were licking my neck. I could feel my ears burning. I think it even reached my hair. It just wouldn't go out. No matter how much I shook my head, it just kept climbing higher and higher. And then I felt something else on my face. His other hand? It was dry and cracked. Was this what I got for resisting so much? My vision quickly brightened. Everything was tinted white now. It felt like the back of my head had just struck the floor. And I was fairly certain he'd just broken my nose. Crushed it flat. I could feel blood flying everywhere. Not enough to douse the fire, though, of course. If blood can even do that. Never actually thought about that. I didn't have the luxury of slipping away into unconsciousness. There was no time for that. Before I had a chance, the expressionless man had picked up his fallen hammer and begun pressing the red-hot steel into my face. Oh. And the sound effects. Oh. The sound it made was like dropping a raw egg into a preheated frying pan. Yeah. And the searing pain I felt was far worse than anything I'd yet experienced.
視野の半分が真っ暗になった。
Half my field of vision instantly went out like a spent light bulb.
目が見えない。
I could no longer see out of one eye at all.
焼きつぶされたせいだ。
Probably because it had been completely burnt out of its socket.
顔の皮がただれ、ブツブツと泡立つのがわかる。
At this point, I could feel my skin bubbling.
肉の焦げる、奇妙に香ばしい匂いが鼻腔を刺激する。
Uh-oh. But then the oddest thing happened. I caught a scent of burning flesh in the air. Through my battered and flat nose, and it smelled good. That's not a very good feeling to have, or sensation to have as you die.
男は私以上に炎に包まれながら、眉一つ動かさず、ハンマーを持ち上げた。
The giant man, still completely expressionless despite being even more engulfed in flames than I was, readied his hammer for another strike.
ベリベリと私の顔の皮を剥がしながら。
The skin on my face was melting away.
男は何の考えもなく、一つの作業を行うようにハンマーを振り上げ。
But he showed no sympathy, no emotion of any kind. He just raised that hammer as if he were on a singular mission.
私の顔をめがけて振り下ろ。
He was aiming right between my eyes, and then he swung down with all his might. Yikes. It's a neat wrong end, though. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. That was interesting with the music and everything. The fire. I feel like there aren't too many fire-related wrong ends in Corpus Party, so it's pretty creative on that end. I'm probably not going to deal with, oops, not that. Definitely want to save the game data. Probably not going to edit out, you know, the cut or anything like that, because we did save right at that branch point. So our next ending is just going to be choosing the other option. I believe there might be another cutscene if you end up choosing to go the normal route towards the look back ending and you've already completed the chapter. Let me know if that's the case, and if so, I'll give it a look in maybe the next episode. Should only take like a couple minutes, but this is already going pretty long. But we're gonna try something else now. Let's see what Mitsuki comes up with. No, let me go! Yikes. What is that sound?
いい匂いがする。
What's going on? Something smells really good. It's supposed to be a reference to the flesh burning? It was the same sort of smell one might catch while walking past a ramen stand.
そういえば、お腹空いたな。
You know, I am pretty hungry. Is she getting grilled or something like that?
聞こえてる？もし聞いてたら、お願い、忘れちゃダメだよ。
Huh? Chihaya, can you hear me? If you're listening, I want you to remember. Remember!
誰？女の子の声だ。泣いてる。
Who's that? It's a girl's voice, and it sounds like she's crying.
何があっても、絶対諦めないって約束したよね。
Huh?
ナナや光見つけて、ここから逃げるんだよ。
Didn't we promise each other we'd soldier on no matter what? Didn't I tell you we'd find Nana, Hikari, and the others and get the heck out of here?
怖くても、寂しくても、自分の身は自分で。千早聞いてる？私、もうあんたを守ってやれないからさ。
It's scary and lonely in here, sure, but you have to look out for yourself. Chihaya, are you listening to me? I can't protect you anymore. Interesting.
頑張るんだよ。
This is not what I anticipated. Do your best, Chihaya. I'm gonna take a guess that... Is that Chihaya? Or is that the girl? Yikes. But it sounds like there's some grilling going on. What's happening?
熱いよ。やだ、助けて。
I'm burning! I'm burning! Help me!
お母さん。死にたくない。やだ、熱い。苦しいよ。
Oh, I can only imagine. Burning to death, it sounds like one of the most painful ways to die. Mom, I don't want to die, please. It's so hot. It hurts so much. What's happening to her? My mind had been in a rather hazy state, but this poor girl's terrified screams, as if someone were tearing her heart out, brought me back to reality. I realized that my hands and feet were bound to a chair, and I was facing another young girl who was similarly bound and writhing in pain. She was wearing a school uniform I didn't recognize, so she must have been brought here from some other junior or senior high school. Were it not for the uniform and the voice, I might have had a tough time determining gender, as her face looked neither male nor female, young nor old. It was simply too burned to discern anything at all. From the top of her head down to her neck, and even halfway down her torso, she was thoroughly charred. She'd essentially been browned, and virtually all her hair was singed off, not unlike a Peking duck hanging outside a Chinese restaurant. Her skin was thoroughly cracked, with bits of pink flesh oozing through here and there. And her eyes looked blank, cloudy and watery, like the bottom of an order of sunny-side-up eggs. Only her teeth remained relatively intact. Had she already been burnt? I mean, to death is what I really mean. Yikes. I was gonna reach out to Chihaya. Nana, I'm sorry. Don't worry, I got it for you, girl, don't worry. I have no idea how much time passed after that. For a while, the only real sounds were her chair rattling as she shook and her murmurs of agony. Then, all that stopped, and the girl fell silent. Considering where she'd been burned, I suspected her lungs must have given out in the end. Though really, it could have been any of a number of things. Just binding girls to chairs and burning them alive? But what is this? Why is this happening? My mind was a blank slate. I was beginning to lose my grip on reality, and may have even laughed a little. I was in a home ec classroom maybe, a science lab, and all around me were arms, legs, heads, and other body parts, all simmering in pots and pans. None of it seemed real. It was like I was watching some bad horror movie on TV, except there was odor and heat, and both were really getting to me. Yikes. Yeah, I don't blame you there, Mitsuki. I was getting nauseous, but not from the smell. It was instead from the thought that this aroma of human flesh boiling and frying was making me hungry. Admittedly, that's actually a pretty normal phenomenon. Just from my experience actually chatting with some surgeons, they say that when you do cut into flesh and you get that scent of muscle and everything, it does smell strikingly similar to meat you would throw on like a grill, and it's something you definitely need to rationalize to yourself and get used to before it becomes, normal in the slightest. As I fought to hold back my fear and hunger-induced vomit, I suddenly sensed a pair of eyes coldly staring at me. I looked in the direction from which I'd felt the sensation and saw before me a little girl in a red dress, just standing and watching. Oh, of course. You picked a great time to wake up. It's your turn next. No. No, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. The little girl lifted a frying pan from a nearby gas burner and brandished it in her right hand. Steam rose from the hot pan, and I could see bubbling oil spattering all along its surface. Oh. I wonder what song you'll sing for me. I could see the expression on her face clearly now. Mischievous, hungry, and positively jubilant, without even a trace of sympathy or remorse. This is Sachiko, and she did eat, I think, Urabe Emi's innards at one point. Yikes. And wrong end? Yeah. And so I believe that's our final wrong end for this chapter. Wow, those are some really, I guess, admittedly creative and really well done, in my opinion, wrong ends that they really do act as, a bit of an extra, a bit of a treat for, what's it called? For completing the chapter. I wish there was some sort of indication, that you could really go back and unlock these sorts of extra scenes in some of the chapters. Does this happen for any other chapter? I feel like to an extent, chapter 5 has been a bit of a chapter of exceptions, given the darkening, not just normal game over, it's a wrong end, but there are 2 extra wrong ends you get from playing through the chapter a second time with new scenes. It's pretty neat, and the chapter itself was pretty good. I think it was a bit too long for its own good, but I think, yeah, that's it. So we have completed all of the chapter 5 endings. We have 2 endings left in chapter 6. That'll be the next episode. That should be a lot shorter than this one, which turned out to be a lot longer than I anticipated, both from, my recording session, which is really what I'm basing this off of. I'm sure the video itself will be quite lengthy too. So thank you guys for those of you that have watched through to the end, and thank you guys for sticking along for all these endings. And I hope the hype for Chapter 7 is real. We'll be getting there very shortly, so look forward to that. But until then, this is Midnight Zero, and this mission is complete.